Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Rochelle. Welcome to the new page and to the first live of 2021. So excited to be here. The cool thing about having this page now is that, well, for one, we wanted to change the time because you guys said that you preferred 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So here we are. And you can now share the lives. I've had requests to be able to share the lives, so you can do that. You can have watch parties, and we can just share the Stampin' Love. All right? So when you get in here, let me know you're here. Say hi. Put it in the comments. And if you're watching afterwards, leave me a hashtag replay. And yes, please, more coffee. Cole's here with us today, too. Yay!
Hi, everyone.
All right, so leave me a hashtag replay. Oh, good. Hey, Katie, I'm glad you have sound. Sound is good. Okay, so I'm squirreling. Leave me a hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. Put any questions that you have in the comments, and we will take care of that. I will get you some answers. All right, so I've got some announcements to make, and we'll do those as we go, as we're going, so that we can get right into the stamping and the fun. Katie says, hello, Cole, more coffee, please.
Hi, Katie.
All right, so I'm gonna flip the camera around, so bear with me for a minute. Those of you who have done this with me before, you know the drill. So today we are making some cute Valentine's cards. And I'm making sure that we can see everything. There we go. All right, so Bling, Bling is here with me in the background. She will probably walk through the middle of everything in just a moment because that's what she does. And we are going to be using the Heartfelt photopolymer stamp set today. Photopolymers are the clear ones. This is available in the annual catalog. And then we're going to go with some standard and pretty bold basic Valentine's colors. We have our real red, our basic black, our basic white. And then the special paper that we're going to be using is our champagne foil. I love this. It is so pretty. It is a matte foil. So it's got shine and shimmer and, well, you can see it as I'm moving it. All right. So we're going to be doing 3 cards, a beginner, a casual, and an avid card. That way, it doesn't matter what level of stamper you are, we are doing a card for you. So we're going to start off with our card bases. I'm going to cut those at 5.5 inches along the long side. And we want 3, so let's cut 2 of those. And I need to get my computer going in the background here so that I can see my comments. And when you're watching, when you come in, there should be a little option for you to be able to click to always know when Stampin' Stuff with my Inky Paws goes live. So click to get the all notifications. That way you don't miss any episodes. We're scoring these at 4 1/4. I'm scoring 3 of them. And I'm hoping that I'll get my comments as they roll in. We'll see. All right, our red, we're going to cut one red at 5 1/4. And 4 is your other dimension. So 5 1/4 and 4. This will be one of your card fronts. And then we'll use some of the, what we just cut off of there as well. And then we're going to also cut a card front out of the black, so 5 1/4 by 4. And you guys make sure to check out on the Stampin' Up site the giant end of year closeout. This is the last chance for some pretty amazing retiring items. I think I need to move our, yeah, my boom is falling a little bit. Sorry about that. Let me adjust that. We're having minor technical difficulties here. I know it looks like an earthquake. All right. There we go. That shouldn't continue to fall. Had to tighten that up a little bit. All right, and then we're also going to do a card front with the white, so 5 1/4. And this is off of one of the other pieces that we just cut for a card base. And then 4. So we have a red, a black, and a white card front at 5 1/4 by 4. All right, and then we're going to be using this heart punch pack. I love this punch pack, you guys. So you get both of these punches. One is a ruffled edge, and you can see from the background, and the other one is a straight edge, and it's a little bit smaller, so you get this beautiful layered effect when you use them together. And that's what we're going to be doing. All right, let's do some stamping. So on our white card front, this is our beginner's card. I'm going to show you a super simple technique because even beginners get to do fun stuff that looks fancy. And we're going to be using this little heart within the heart. And we're going to be doing some generational stamping. And generational stamping is when you use one inking, and we are going to get multiple colors of ink off of one inking. So let's use our real red ink pad. And I'm going to show you what I mean by generational stamping before we get started here. So this would be our first generation image, and then we're not even going to re-ink. We're just going to keep stamping. So see, we've got 5 generations here. So we're going to be using 1 through 4, and this is going to give us a really lovely mix of colors on our card front. And we'll ink off the edge a little bit. I want to do this first to show you something here. When you pick the stamp up, okay, now if we were to do another generation with that one, we're going to have a line across the middle. So to prevent that, remember which number you're on. So we've already done 1. We're going to stamp 1 off so that now we're on our 2. 2. 3, put 4 down there. All right.
do the different colors of ink pads have the same number of generations in them?
Not all of them do. The lighter colors, you can usually get 1, 2, and a really pale 3. The darker colors, you'll be able to get 4 pretty successfully. The 5th one is pretty hit and miss. All right, so we're going to turn our stamp a little bit because we don't want them all going the same way. 1, and we want to vary where we put these so we don't have all the same colors next to each other. Three. Just a little bit on the edge, and that's fine. I'm thinking maybe one more bright one here in the middle. 1, 2. And I'm paying attention to where my line is, so I'm going to turn the stamp so that I'm actually using the next generation. 3. All right, so we've kind of created our own designer series paper here. I know, I love this technique because you get such rich colors. And you make it look really fancy without hardly any effort at all. Clean our stamp off. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do on this one is to stamp with our Memento Black. Memento is this is a tuxedo black. It's a fade resistant dye ink. If you're going to be doing any work with Stampin' Blends, this is a good ink to do that with because it's not going to be affected by the alcohol markers. And I have a sentiment in here that I really, really love that I want to use. And it's this one here. Being friends is better than eating candy, but let's do that too.
We didn't bring any candy.
We didn't bring any candy. I don't like to do snacks when I craft. I don't like anything to be on my fingers. My husband's laughing at me over here.
Well, I don't like to have gooey fingers either. That's why I'm laughing.
All right, so here's our sentiment. And it looks like we need to ink up the top of that just a little bit more. There we go. All right, now we're going to put that on our red. So grab the little bit of red that you cut off from our card base. Go. Hey Heather, welcome. I am getting my comments. Yay! It's nice to know. All right, so we're going to trim this off just a little bit. This is going to become our sentiment bar. And I did a pretty good job of keeping that straight, so I'm not going to have to. I'll straighten it up just a little bit there. Kitty
Yeah,
Fuzz.
we've got Rosalie with us too.
Hey, Rosalie.
Yoda and Rosalie.
We got lots of good kitty energy here at the table right now. Okay, so let's cut about 3/4 inch away from our sentiments. And then we're going to flag the ends of these, just a shallow flag. So maybe give 1/4 inch cut up and then from the edges to the center. So we're just going to cut out that notch. And same on the other side. There we go. Okay, now we're going to attach these with our Stampin' Dimensionals. One for the middle so we don't have any saggy bellies. Alright, let's go ahead and attach our card front first because I think it's cute when the sentiment bar hangs off the edge of the card front just a little bit. So we'll go ahead and glue our card front to the card base. I'm using the multi-glue for that. You could use your Stampin' Seal or glue dots, whatever you have, whatever you feel is appropriate. We all have our own favorite adhesives. All right, and then this is what I mean by hanging it off the edge a little bit. So I'm just like coming a little bit over. It just makes it look a little fancier. Tap it down. And then the other thing that I love to do is to decorate the insides of our cards and our envelopes. And I forgot to grab envelopes, so give me just 1 second. All right, so let's go back to our red. Make sure that I've got it pointing up. On this one though, I kind of think I want to put our heart on the flap so they see it as they open it. So we're going to do our first generation on the envelope, open up the card, and just put a cute little heart that's just kind of floating off the edge here. See? And if you want to, we could even do another one like up here in the corner. Yeah. And there is our first card. All right, on to our second card. We're going to be using our red card base. And we'll be using our real red ink. And the stamp we're going to use for this one is this cool little kind of floating frame.
He loves it too.
All right, so we're going to do a like a double stamping shadow technique on this one. So pick anywhere to start. It doesn't matter where you start. I'll start right here. And we're just going to stamp. And then for our next generation, we're just going to pick it up a little bit, kind of give it a little bit of a twist so we're not going down in the exact same spot. And see how it kind of makes a little bit of a shadow there. And then we're going to just kind of grid that out a little bit. Actually, I'm not getting as much of a shadow as I wanted. So I may come back into that in just a second. Oh, there we go. That one's got a good shadow on it. All right, then for the next row down, just kind of, you're gonna line it up in between the points of our heart and do row 2. And we'll stamp off the edge because this row will continue. Same over here. Oh, hello, Yoda. And then we'll get just the top of our 3rd row. So do you guys know what is coming up after the giant end of year closeout is finished? Celebration. Celebration starts on Tuesday. And what Celebration is a really, really fun sale where you get free stuff. So for every $50 worth of products that you purchase during Celebration, which goes through the end of February, so every $50 that you purchase, you get to choose a free exclusive stamp set or DSP paper pack. And this is why Celebration is a big deal, because you get free stuff. I love that. There's also some other things that are going on at the same time as part of Celebration, and one of them is a Hostess special. There is a free Hostess exclusive stamp set once your party qualifies. So if you want to hold a party, let me know. We can totally get that on the books and get you your free stamp set. All right, now we're going to do some fun stuff with punches. Let's grab a piece of white cardstock and this one. Now, it's dyed pink because I've used it a lot, but this one, let me put it on the clear where you can see. It says Happy Valentine's Day. Let's go ahead and mount that. I'm going to ink that up with our real red. Make sure I'm holding it. Rosie, you do not need to be over here. You're kind of a clumsy boy on the table. And give yourself a little room because we're going to be punching this out too. And we want as much ink transfer on this one as possible. Katie, thanks. Yeah, that shadow technique is a lot of fun, and it's really versatile for a lot of different things too. That usually
like that
sends
much.
the kitties running is when I put some more Stampin' Mist on the scrub pad. Did not like that.
I'm surprised that you didn't jump down. You just got a dirty look.
Yeah, me too. We train kitten training with squirt bottles when they're bad, so that by the time that they're as old as they are now, we rarely have to squirt anybody. We just pick up a bottle or shake it. All right, so we're going to cut out our heart. And then we're also going to cut one out of black. So grab one of your scraps of black. We're going to cut that one out with the scallop. I'm putting my hand over there because these like to go flying. And which can be fun, but you know, I don't want to have to chase them while we're live. All right, so we're going to go ahead and glue down our stamped image on the black back, on the black. I can't speak today. And then we will mount this with dimensionals. But before we do that, we're going to run just a little bit of our, this is the Whisper White seam ribbon. And we're just kind of going to do a little swoopy thing here. That's a technical term for it, by the way. Swoopy thing. All right, so about that long. And I am going to tack this down just a little bit because this is so light. It's kind of like working with tissue paper. And we want it to stay where we put it. And nobody's ever going to see that because our other heart is going to be over the top of it in just a minute. All right, then couple, 3 dimensionals here. We're going to put that right over this shadow heart, so grab that quick.
Nice save.
Right? Alright, we can pull that through just a little bit because I'd kind of like a little longer loop on that one. And maybe we can tighten that loop up just a little bit to make it even. And then we'll just notch our ribbon. And I think on this one, I want to embellish with just a little bit of rhinestone. Thanks, Cole. Right, let's go ahead and attach this to our card base. And these are our clear epoxy drops. These are so much fun. And they can be dyed too with Stampin' Blends. So I think I just want a single.
Just color over the top of it when you do that.
Mm-hmm.
With the blends, but not the other ones. Not the other markers.
Not the other markers. The watercolors don't stay on. All right. And there is our card number 2. This would be more like a casual crafter card. Got a little little more technique here, some ribbon work, some bling, just a little bit of elevation. I love to decorate the insides of cards. Those of you who have stamped with me before know that. It's like, wait, it's not done. No naked insides, no naked envelopes.
Nothing gets to be naked.
Nothing gets to be naked, that's right. Alright, I'm kind of thinking maybe on this one, I know we did not use this stamp, but I think it's really cute. It's this
Oh, yeah.
tiny little heart with like the teardrops around it. So let's decorate up our, and we can use our generational techniques on this too. Give it a little bit of a turn. See how many generations you can get on there. This makes the envelope cute. And then we can do the same thing on the inside here.
It's kind of got a candy heart look to it.
It does, like those little conversation hearts.
Yeah.
And there is our card number 2. For our third card, we're going to use that black card base. And this one is super fun, and it reminds me of like fishnet stockings. You'll see in a minute because we're going to put it together right now. So we're not going to be doing any stamping directly on our card base because it's really hard to stamp on the black with anything other than the Whisper White ink, which is really pretty, by the way. But what we're going to do is let's grab our white cardstock and our scallop punch, and then we're going to be using this stamp, which I love, 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 love. There is so much detail in this with all of the little crosses. It looks like lace. And you will see that in just a minute. So we're going to be using our Memento, and then we're going to color on this with some Stampin' Blend markers. And I just re-inked my Memento pad, so I'm hoping I get some nice crisp images. I had let it kind of dry out. Stay just enough away from the edges so that we'll be able to cut it out with the punch. And we're going to want 2 of these. Beautiful. I like it when things turn out the way that you envision them. All right, now the other thing that we're going to do before we continue, because I want it to have time to dry, we're going to grab some Stays-On ink, and remember that beautiful champagne foil? We're going to do a little stamping on this too. So let's go ahead and cut a piece of this off of here.
And does the ink take longer to dry when you stamp on that?
The Stays-On ink does take longer to dry, and a foil surface or the window acetate, both of those are gonna take longer to dry too. So we're gonna go ahead and stamp those images, let them dry. And we're going to use two different sentiments. The first is From My Heart to Yours. And there is a special stays-on cleaner if you use the Simply Chamois to get that off of there. Then later you can go in and clean that off with the stays-on cleaner, because it will leave a little bit of black on the stamp, but it doesn't transfer. The other image I want is Love You Lots. And you don't have to press down with this very hard at all. It just needs to be on there long enough to get a good transfer. And we didn't do that. So let's move it over and try again. Always remember, it's fine to make mistakes and that it's just paper. And we're still not getting the impression that I want off of there. So,
Good practice for perfectionists.
yeah, and you guys can see I make mistakes all the time, so don't feel like you gotta be perfect. I felt that one slide too.
Am I shaking the table?
No, you're not shaking. Nope, 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 nope. It's all me. I'm totally taking credit for it. The foil sheets are a little, and I know that this one is slid, so I'm going to show you. They slide around on here really well, and that's what you get. We got that first image so crisp, so fast, too. It's okay.
It's kind of interesting that it does that.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you had a particular image, I wonder if you could use that to your advantage.
Yeah,
like it's a technique.
And I think that we could probably go back over that with Whisper White ink, too. There we go.
Nice.
All right, so I'm gonna put that one aside and go back to our other one, because now we're going to put our little stitched heart frame over that. All right, so I'm just lining that up in the center of the heart. There we go. Now we'll set that aside and let it finish drying.
Do you have the lighter one?
Well, it should be in the cupboard. I'm not seeing it though. I may have it in one of the other piles. And we'll set that one aside to dry. Okay, now we're going to play with our Stampin' Blends, and I've got the set of, I'm putting the stamps back, otherwise I forget them. This is the Real Red set. When you buy Stampin' Blends, you get a set of two. There is a dark and a light. This is the dark Real Red, light Real Red. And we're gonna start off with our light. Let's cap our Stays on Ink. And there are two ends to this as well. So there's the brush end, and then there is the fine point end. So you can write, or you can do more marker techniques. And that's what we're going to do on this, is just color in all of this kind of meshy looking area. Hey Denise, welcome. How are you this afternoon? Glad that you have joined us. All right, we're going to color both of them the same way. I really enjoy these Stampin' Blend markers. They are so smooth, and they go where you put them. The colors coordinate with all of our other products in the same color. So you get like this perfect coordination. All right, now the other thing I'm going to do is to color in about half of this heart, there's a little bit of a stitching line here, so I want that to just be highlighted with the red. And you'll see in a minute why I'm only doing half of that one. It's going to give that inner heart just a little bit of depth and pop it out a little bit more. Yep. There's my other cap. All right, now we're going to pick up our dark Real Red, and we're going to do the other half of the interior heart. And then we're going to come along the outside edge of the petals of the heart. And give this a little bit of some depth there. Let's kind of bring that down into the tip, just around the edge. And doesn't that look like super cool fishnet stockings now? And this is a super, super easy technique. Just use the light to color everything in, and then go around the edges that you want to be a little shadowed with the darker color. And then we're going to cut these out with our scallop punch. And then we're going to come back in here and pick up, you know what, let's let that dry for just a minute more. Go ahead and grab some red. We're going to scallop our red too. Now, if you haven't already guessed, this card's a little fiery. It's not one you're going to be wanting to give to your best friend. It's one that you're going to be wanting to give to your honey. Let's go ahead and cut this out of here. And you wanted to keep these to play with
I
them
wanna
with the
see what it
whisper
looks
weight.
like.
Okay, let's go ahead and set that over there then.
Because I'm curious that way.
Now I want to show you with the take a pick tool, if you don't leave yourself enough paper to be able to hold on to it and position it, you can use your take a pick tool to get it centered and arranged in there.
It's a lot easier than the way I was doing it.
Because this has a putty tip on it, so it's a little sticky. But once you pull up, then it releases.
Nicely done.
Okay, now it's time to assemble. And we're going to put our champagne foil sentiments. We're going to glue them onto our red hearts. There is so much fancy on this card. That's why this one is the Avid card. It can be a little more nerve-wracking. I mean, you guys saw me make lots of mistakes there with the foil paper, but again, it's just paper. And you just try again. All right, now we're going to add a little more raciness to this card. Let's put some red ribbon. We're just going to tie this around it and make a nice knot. Not going to get fancy with a bow. We don't need to do a bow on this card because it's already going to be pretty fancy, pretty blingy. And this kind of reminds me of a cute garter too. I think I want to slide that up just a little bit. And this is the double stitched red satin ribbon. And this, I think it's part of the year-end clearance, so if you want that, go grab it. All right, so we're going to put You know what, I want these to hang off the edge just a little bit. So let's go ahead and mount our black card front to our card base. Make sure you get a little bit of a glue down your ribbon on the back so that it doesn't float around in there. You do want that to stay tacked down. All right, and then our little pieces, you can see it bleeds through. And that's why I never color with Stampin' Blends directly on my card base, because they will bleed through. They're alcohol markers, that's what they do. Put that one kind of up here and just like floating off the edge a little bit. And then this one, just tuck it down here, let the bottom of that float just a little bit. All right, so with these, we're going to do From My Heart to Yours, and then we're going to float it over the top of Love You Lots. So I'm going to glue these two together before we put our dimensionals on there, because it's way easier than trying to do dimensionals first. All right, we'll let that dry for just a second. Then give this lots of support. And I spanned one across there, that'll help hold that together a little bit more even. All right, and I kind of want to tuck that under here. And then we're going to add a few pearls. Pearls are very romantic. So we have lots of pearls and lace and heat in this card. And I'm using 3 different sizes here of the pearls. So we're going from large to small. Just a little bit of an arc. And then we're going to repeat that down here. All right, you guys, what do you think? I think we need a little something on the inside of that one. And I think our lacy one's a little bigger than I want, so let's go ahead and I've lost my Stampin' Block. your envelope and hit the inside of that card with a little something something. And I'm not going to do a generational stamping on the inside of this one because everything is so bright and just wow. So yeah, that's a technical term for it there too. So let's do a couple of nice bright hearts on the inside. There we go. Card number 3. Let's get everything out of the way so we can see all 3 of these together. There's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the last announcement that I had for you, no, actually I have 2 more announcements as we look at our cards. And if you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. We also have a join special going on when celebration starts. So if you've been thinking that you're using enough supplies that you would like some discount on that, join me. Give me a message. I will explain how to go about doing it. But the join special, in addition to the $125 worth of stuff of your choice for $99, you also get 5 free packs of DSP during the celebration. So that's the other celebration special. I'm getting ready to release my Mail and More card classes in the VIP group. So if you're not part of my VIP group, I'm going to drop that link in the comments along with the supply list for today's cards after the live. And if you want to come join our VIP group and check out the Mail and More card classes I have available, I'll be releasing them in the VIP group first, and then I'll be posting them here a few days after that. So, all right, you guys, hold on just a second. I'm going to turn everything around again so that you're back to me. And Cole should be sitting right here, but he's not. We'll convince him to be on camera one of these days. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you next Sunday. Bye.
Bye.